Hi there. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can keep trigger foods or those foods that are easy to lose control on in your house without eating all of them. Because let's face it, we're spending a lot more time at home right now, and I want to support you so you don't have to just have like clean eating stuff around your house, because that's no fun. So before we go there, I want to tell you a little story about, let's call her Sarah. And so Sarah is someone who struggles with unwanted eating habits. There's some binge eating, compulsive overeating, emotional eating. She basically doesn't feel in control or in her power with food. So Sarah goes to a coach, and this coach has the best intentions in the world. And this coach knows that dieting tends to cause overeating and binge eating. So she tells Sarah to stop dieting and tells Sarah to go eat whatever she wants, eat all her trigger foods. And so Sarah goes to the store, and Sarah feels liberated by this process. Sarah goes to the store and she grabs some chips, she grabs some sweets, she grabs some ice cream, she grabs some treats, some candy, she grabs more of her kids' snacks that she usually doesn't keep in the house. She grabs all the things. She goes home, she feels good, she eats her dinner with her pasta, and then the kids go down, and Sarah starts thinking about all the foods in the house, and Sarah grabs one and another and another and another. And before you know it, she's lost control. She has lost control on all the foods, and she just keeps eating whatever she wants. Day in and day out, she's eating whatever she wants. She's telling this coach that this is happening, and the coach keeps telling her it's gonna quiet. Once your brain realizes that you can have whatever you want, it quiets. And Sarah is eating and eating and eating, and before you know it, Sarah starts gaining weight, and Sarah starts getting really scared. And Sarah loses trust in herself and her body and trust in the coach and goes back to dieting. I don't want you to be Sarah, because this is a really, really, really common thing in this world. And while I strongly agree that we have to let go of dieting, there is massive space between stopping dieting and just eating whatever you want on a disconnected free-for-all that is unsupportive for your health and your body, right? So dieting tends to put people in this thing that we call survival mode. Think of survival mode as a state that your brain goes in when it feels deprived, either from physical dieting or someone thinking like a dieter, that makes you want to eat more food, makes you think about more food, makes you crave more food, and makes you eat more food. We want to get you out of that state no matter what. But for someone that's been binge eating or emotional eating or overeating day in and day out, if you just give them this like free-for-all permission, they're most likely going to lose control because they haven't broke those patterns in the brain that stop the binging, right? And I don't want this to happen to you. So there are some steps that have to be taken before you just stock the cabinets with everything in the world you ever used to binge on, hoping that if you keep eating it and eating it, you'll stop wanting it. Now, there is truth. When true actual permission is given, like, hey, I'm allowed to have these things, it's okay. And I can have these things when I want. Therefore, your desire starts to decrease. There's truth to that, but we can't just bank on that happening without other things in place. So if you came into our world and you became a binge eating student, let's say, one thing I would have you do immediately is get you out of survival mode. And I wouldn't do this in the free-for-all way. I would do this by layering in certain pieces to show your brain and body you're gonna feed it regularly that don't feel quite as scary as putting every single trigger food in your house, right? We would have you eating enough. We would have you eating adequately. We would have you feeling satisfied from your meals. We would have you layer in some variety. We would have you layer in different food groups. There'd be this gradual process, right? And when we got to the place of you feeling in your power with your food, we would have you bring those scary trigger foods back in a way that feels really, really supportive, where you don't lose control on them. And this could come in a few ways. So I want you to kind of take some of our tricks, so to speak, from this, right? Now, remember that foundational piece is really important of making sure you're getting out of survival mode, because if you're in survival mode and put yourself around a ton of trigger foods, you're probably going to lose control on them eventually, right? So let's say you've laid the foundation of getting yourself out of survival mode. And if you need some help with that, let us know. That's our specialty. And now you want to bring some foods in. We highly encourage you to do this in safe environments. Now, this doesn't mean you have to only have foods around when you feel really good about it. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. It's not going to feel comfortable. to order the indulgent thing at the restaurant. It's not gonna feel comfortable to bring the scary food in the house. So I want you to step out of your comfort zone, but I also think that you can do it in a way where you feel a little reassured that it's less likely you'll lose control on it. Because the trick in the beginning is to build trust between yourself and your body and show yourself, hey, I'm not broken. Hey, I don't have this binge eating thing and this food addiction thing that I'm gonna struggle with forever. And the way we do that is we incorporate these things in a way that feels uncomfortable, but not so crazy, scary, uncomfortable that you lose complete control. So some ideas I have for you are this. Let's say you're a nighttime eater and you tend to binge at night. So trying your scary food that's caused binges, that feels like it's caused binges before at night might be a little risky. Why don't we bring that food in during the day? Why don't you have your cookie with breakfast, your cookie with lunch, or whatever that is? Another option is, maybe instead of just ordering the food at your house alone, maybe, that thing that feels a little out of your comfort zone, right? Have it when you're with a friend, have it when you're with a family member, and show yourself, man, I can eat this in a way that's really supportive, in a way that's connected to myself, and give yourself full permission to eat that, no matter how much gluten, carbs, calories, fat, sugar it has. When you make that decision, give yourself permission to enjoy it. Because as you do that, it is a valid point that as your brain knows, hey, I could order pizza tomorrow if I truly wanted it, you have less of an urge or a desire to get all the pizza in that moment, right? Or another tip is doing it in an environment that feels more safe, right? So we had a student that would binge on fast food. And so she just basically told herself, I can never have fast food. So instead of, she removed the fast food label and didn't just jump into full-blown fast food eating, but she removed the I can never have fast food. And instead of going through drive-thrus on her own, because she used to binge in a car, her and her husband went out to dinner and they went out to Chick-fil-A together and they got their Chick-fil-A and they parked their car and they sat and they enjoyed it. She got a full meal. She didn't skimp and not eat the bread on her sandwich, right? She got the full meal. She enjoyed it. She still got that experience of giving herself permission, but it wasn't done in this disconnected free-for-all way. Because one problem I see when people go the more give me all the trigger foods is it's actually not connected eating. And I don't know if we coined this term. I think we did. Maybe it's someone else has coined it. I'm not sure. But there's a huge difference between eating something, we'll use the word indulgent, even though I don't like labels, but we'll use a indulgent meal, right? Let's just use the pizza example. There is a difference between eating all the pizza because you're disconnected, not connecting to yourself. You're eating it because you feel like it's bad and you need to finish it, or you're eating it because it's just in front of you and you want it and there's no checking in, and an actual empowered choice of choosing the pizza. So if you are going to have those foods around that you've lost control on, make sure you're choosing them in a way that is the real you choosing. Not the binge you, not that habitual patterned you, not the super emotional, I'm just gonna eat everything and start over tomorrow you. The real you is deciding, you know what? This pizza, this experience, I desire this. And this is the most nourishing thing for me right now. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, because enjoying this is gonna make me feel free, make me feel happy, and make me feel like I got to connect with others, and that is worth it, right? And so, just some tips, right? Some insider tips on adding some things in. It's not that you have to do this in a controlled way. It's not that you can only do them in perfectly safe environments, but I want to make sure that as you're trying these things, you build up this trust muscle between yourself and what you say you're gonna do, and yourself and your belief in yourself, right? Your belief to break these patterns. And when someone goes from binging and dieting to I can just eat whatever, a lot of times that will look like a permissible binge, and we don't want that. We still want you making those connected decisions. So I hope this helps. And if you need support in this department, we are here. This is our jam. It's probably what we're best at, is breaking that pattern of the binging and getting someone out of survival mode, both mentally and physically, to really support you through this, right? So be sure to click the link just below this video. I'm actually going to put a link to our craving card series. So we have a 6-part series that outlines how to manage and shift cravings. It gives you a video lesson for each craving, an index card to use in each moment, and it's gonna really, really support you with connecting to the true you in those moments where you have some of those more risky foods around that you may have lost control of. So do that now. It's really helpful. It's one of my favorite free series or things that we've done because I just think it's super tangible and helpful, and I know it will help you. So if you like this video, make sure to get that craving card series, our SOS Freedom from Craving series below. And be sure to give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear if this helped you so we can keep making videos like this, because as of now, we are hitting your inbox or YouTube feed or IGTV feed or wherever else we put this thing feed every Tuesday with all the things to help you with your relationship with food in your body. So Brittany Brown signing out. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you liked and make sure you snag that training, and I will see you next week.